Okay, so I always thought it was super cheesy when people were driving, doing vlogs and stuff, and now here I am. But it's like, now I get it, because you're driving, you might as well kill two birds with one stone. Anyway, like, that's stupid, but where am I going? I am on my way to Mexico. I know I have like a Mexico series on this channel, like when I went with Amy, and then I don't know if I did another one. But anyway, I go to Mexico a few times. You know why? Because the healthcare here really sucks, and I didn't care when I was younger, and now that I'm older, I'm like, dude, this sucks. Like in Europe, I paid like $100 a month. I got acupuncture, chiropractor, all kinds of preventative stuff. And here, literally, I got like the bargain bin healthcare, and they barely like check my blood and send me out the door. They're like, you're fine. I'm like, I'm not fine. I need help for my anxiety. I have anxiety because of all this. And they're like, here's some hydroxyzine, or I don't know what the hell they gave me, but it gave me weird dreams. Like, I can't even tell you what kind of dreams they gave me. And like, usually I like weird dreams, but then like all day I just didn't feel, I was tired. I'm like, this gives me more anxiety, and it like knocked me out. So like, yeah, of course you don't have anxiety when you're sleeping, but like, so I'm going to Mexico to get some Valium, because it's the only thing that works for me. And the doctor, I've had a prescription before, and the doctor's like, well, it's very addictive and we don't want you to be addicted. I'm like, dude, I'm not like at some rave taking Valium for fun. Like, I need it to function sometimes, like as needed. I don't want to go on like some shit every day that I got to take. And I was like, look, I'm addicted to like energy drinks and Kylo Ren. I know what I'm addicted to and what I am not addicted to. So long story short, you know, I'm moving to Puerto Rico and gonna do an early retirement / working retirement and live on the beach. Like, I'm done with COVID and politics and fucking like nobody talks to anybody anymore, and I'm just kind of over it. So, but like, I still love film, so I'm gonna take the festival to Puerto Rico and continue with my podcast and the vlogs and all that. So I'm blabbing on, but if you like hearing me blab, then this is for you. So I just noticed it. I hate it when YouTubers are like, oh, I did this with my hair or whatever. But like, I'm getting oral surgery. It's like it's 2002 all over again. It's like it never ends. So I'm getting bone grafting, cadaver bone for Vanya, and yeah. So it's been an ongoing thing, a lifelong thing, and it's like all swollen. And I remember everybody thought, oh, it's so cute, you have like chipmunk cheeks, and here I am like, I could be filming on the other side, but no. And so that's why I'm puffy, is surgery and stuff. So anyway, the main focus that I wanted, well, we'll do like, maybe if anything's cool going on in Mexico, whatever, I'll film it. But okay, so I saw Dune, the new one, the Denis Villeneuve, Pardon mon français, et très mal, version. And I say that because there's the Lynch version and the Jodorowsky version that was never filmed, but I still consider that a vision and a work of art. We all know how much I love, you know, 80s, 70s pop culture, love David Lynch, and I love the 1984 Dune. And so many people don't, but I can do a whole nother, you know, critical analysis of why it's awesome. But it's a piece of David Lynch, you know. It's, you know, right before Twin Peaks. It's weird. I really feel like he captures the weirdness of Frank Herbert's novel. Oh, and I'm also like a fan of the book. So obviously people are so critical when they're fans of the book, fans of the older movie. So I didn't want people to be like, oh, you're biased because you love, you know, Toto and you know, Max von Sydow and Patrick Stewart and the whole gang, which was a stellar cast. I mean, come on, let's get real. And just the 80s version, which I do. And so I'm prefacing this with all that. But I've seen the new film 9 times. And from a fan perspective, totally stoned perspective, I got drunk once, and then a scholarly perspective. So I went with different modes of thinking and consciousness to truly give this movie the analysis and criticism I feel would be necessary to make sure that people are not like, well, you're just biased because you la la la, because people are going to come for me. We know that. This is YouTube. They're going to come for me. But I am going to make some points that are, I think, irrefutable, and that's the best thing you can do when you have an argument. So, and I might add to this, obviously, I'm probably going to blog and do a written analysis. It's more, scholarly, whatnot. But this is me just rambling because I have pages and pages of notes that obviously I can't refer to right now. So I might repeat myself and whatnot. Okay. So clearly there's a part 1, there's a part 2. I feel like there were some choices made that I didn't agree with, that I think that the 84 version did better. But my main thing was, I really think this is a beautiful auteur piece for Denis Villeneuve. I loved Arrival. I love his design. I love his feel. I think he created some great worlds. But I wasn't a big fan of Blade Runner. I just feel like he should be doing like his own material, doing like other stuff that is already iconic. He needs to like do his own original thing, because I think it was a great Denis Villeneuve film, but I don't think it was a good Dune film. And I really feel like Hollywood, or whoever was producing this, like tried to shoehorn in like Hollywood elements that just did not fit. And this is what I mean by that. Beautiful score. Hans Zimmer did an amazing job. Like the world of Caladan and the lighting. My friend Rachel and I yesterday were watching, we're like, this lighting is amazing. It was just beautiful. And then Timothée Chalamet is just so pretty on the big screen in this world that's created. It just all fit together, and it was like a feast for the eyes. Okay, and so you're in this world and you're like, wow, like this is beautiful. I'm on board. And then you get like Jason Momoa, who has his place in this world, but not in this kind of film. And Josh Brolin, who I love, #Goonies. And who else? Oh, Oscar Isaac or Poe from fucking Star Wars is terrible. So they're like adding one-liners. It's like the script, and I know I teach science fiction, like science fiction scripts are always banal. The dialogue's not always good. Like the Lynch Dune was kind of the same way. It's like very grandiose, very, but it was like a fairy tale, and it was written as such. This was trying to be like serious, but then Hollywood, and then there was some banter, but the character relationships weren't built enough to where the banter seemed earnest. Like in Star Wars, they're all bantering, they're all talking shit. Like at the very start, C-3PO, we're doomed. Princess Leia talks shit to Vader. Peter Cushing talks shit to Vader. Like everybody's talking shit. Like it's very consistent throughout. Here it's like they're serious. You're talking about dreams, and then, did you get muscle? Oh, I did? Nope. And it's like, that was so dumb. There was a moment where like Jason Momoa first comes as Duncan Idaho and greets Chalamet, and there's this beautiful like shot of just the silhouette and like just whiteness behind them, and it's so pretty. And then Chalamet's talking about his dreams, and it's supposed to be like this esoteric moment, and then Momoa like is just so, Hollywood action film style acting, and it just doesn't fit the feel or the mood that is set up by the music or the art design or everything else. It just doesn't fit. And there's a place for that stuff, but I feel like they added it in to get a bigger audience. Like, oh, we want a mainstream audience. Like, screw the fans, screw the sci-fi nerds, where there's a lot of us and we will spend money to go. They're like, oh, let's make this funny at times, even though there's no reason for it, so people will laugh. And it was like, it was so, it just did not fit. Then, there's different styles of acting too. Like you have Chalamet, who's Call Me By Your Name, film festival indie acting darling. Then you had like Oscar Isaac, who was like soap opera acting, like he was shouting and my people and desert power and you are my son. And it's like, okay, there's a place for that in the world, but it's not fitting in here. Then you had his mother, Rebecca Ferguson or whatever her name is, and she's crying all the time. Like, she's supposed to be a Bene Gesserit sister, and like in the original film, like I forget her name. I think it was Francesca something. Lady Jessica's like a freaking pillar of strength. And here she is like crying the whole time, and it's like, you're in Dune. If not only for a storyline, like, you shouldn't be wasting water. You're crying, you're wasting tears. Like, that's ridiculous. She's crying all the time. And then you have the Momoa action star acting with like Josh Brolin, who's like, oh, we use the sand to scrub our ass. Like, you literally had this beautiful moment of design of the world of Arrakis, the music, like you're setting up the world again, and then we cut to freaking literally Oscar Isaac and Josh Brolin talking shit about the planet, and then, oh, I wipe my ass, or I scrub my ass with sand. And it's like, first of all, you use that word ass, like this world, they wouldn't say something like that in Star Wars. Like, this is supposed to be a fairy tale. This is supposed to not be locker room talk at the office. Like, you're pulling me into modern day America with the way you're talking. I want to be in this fantasy world, and they don't say things like that. I'm sorry, like, I don't like that. Maybe I'm old school, but when you build me a world that's, you know, fantasy 10,000 years in the future, where people can bend space and time with their mind, I don't want to talk about scrubbing my ass with sand. It was just so banal and just so inappropriate and just crass. Like, it's just crass. Like, and nobody in the film, in the 84 version, you had, I can't say her name, Sean Phillips, who was the Reverend Mother. She was Cassiopeia in Clash of the Titans. Linda Hunt, who just came out of Year of Living Dangerously and winning the Academy Award. Linda Hunt is Shadowt Mapes. Patrick Stewart as Gurney. The guy who played Leto was in Das Boot. And Max von Sydow. Like, you had a stellar, and Kyle MacLachlan, I think, did a great job as being the bold, you know, and impetuous Paul. And there was just and the Baron, I forget his name, oh my God, he was so awesome. And Sting, I will kill you, like, it's so awesome. Okay, so that's the cast. The Baron in the original was so awesome. I think Skarsgård, he was fat and kind of, but it wasn't, I don't know, it just wasn't grandiose and it wasn't as bold. I don't feel like one member of the cast fit the majesty that Denis Villeneuve created. Like, the cast was so below the world that was created. And that is definitely, there was no, like, Laurence Olivier, there was no presence. And I think Chalamet did the best he could with what he had, but like, he had to act off of these other people, and I just felt sorry because I don't feel the script is strong at all. It was like, this is a thumper, this is a thing, and it's like all this exposition. And if you're gonna have exposition, don't tell me this is a thumper, or we need to run, or we need to walk like this. Like, just show it. And if you're gonna tell me something, tell me about the Bene Gesserit sisters. Tell me about the Mining Guild and the Space Guild and how to fold space and time. Tell me about the spice. This movie is about the spice, and I want to ask the director, what was this about? Is it about colonization and the oppression of the Fremen? Is it about, you know, empire and the emperor and, you know, war and all this? Like, there was no clear theme. And I'm sorry, the books are about spice and altering your mind to fold space and time. And that's what got me, like, I'm reading the very first book, The Butlerian Jihad, right now. And it is all about mind-altering substances. Are we, like, in an anti-drug world now where you can't even, like, talk about altering your mind? The spice is what it's about. Like, in the first film, the spice must flow. The people still use that one-liner today, the spice must flow. Oh my God, like, because at the very beginning, Zendaya's like, oh, my people have been oppressed, who will our next oppressors be? And that's, you're setting the tone for what the film is about. So, you know, are they going there to liberate these people? Are they going there to, like, get the spice, destroy the spice? Like, who are, and first of all, if mankind was oppressed and subjugated to slavery by machines, thinking machines, which is the total backstory of Dune, we don't even know that. Like, that's why Bene Gesserits and people in the Space Mine Guild want to use their minds and only use humans as resources, because machines had once taken over mankind. And does anybody know that? I went with a friend, I had explained the whole story to him. And he hated it when finally Paul sees Chani and he dreams of her and he has all these dreams forever. And they meet each other. It's like, hey, what's up? Oh, come down this way, like down a thing of rocks. It was like, they were like 12-year-old buddies hanging out in the rock houses in the mountains. Like, what? Dude, it was so anticlimactic. It should have been a cinematic moment. This was an opportunity for a moment for them to finally meet. And it was just kind of like so, like non-sexy, non-romantic, non-anything. There was definitely some moments of homoeroticism. They could have went further with that. A little Oedipal moment there between Jessica and Paul when they're changing into their desert suits. But okay. So down back to, oh shit. What the hell was I talking about? The script. Hold on. Oh yeah. I should have said this first, but I am so traumatized by it. I try to like forget about it. What the fuck are the Harkonnens? Like, it's Harkonnen. Baron Harkonnen. And my friend Rachel, she heard it. She was like, what Harkonnen? That sounds like a red eye. I'm a Harkonnen. Like, why? Why do they pronounce it that way? It's Harkonnen. It's so much more royal, like Baron Harkonnen. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know whose choice that was. And then like the choice of not doing voiceovers, I know like in the 84 one, it's very surreal. They have this like, you know, internal soliloquies and monologues within themselves. And it makes it it adds this like, we can read their thoughts. So maybe we're like Bene Gesserit sisters. In this one, you hear like voices speaking to him, but you don't know, they're like disembodied voices, but we don't know who they are. Like, are they the voices of the past, of the Fremen? Are they fucking, you know, Bene Gesserits, like who, you know? And then he's like the prophet, and he's like crying about it in the tent. He's like, you made me a freak. And then he's like playing the card with sand. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna marry the emperor's daughter. Like, dude, you're either the prophet or you're not. Like, Kyle MacLachlan had his moment. He's like, you know, Father, the sleeper has awoken. Like, he's like, I'm up to the challenge. And then Lady Jessica's like, oh, you need to help us get back to Caladan. Dude, you just set up the whole Arrakis with your sisterhood for his prophecy, and now you're running away crying? Like, you knew that this was fated. You knew that this was meant to be, and you're like trying to get off planet? Like, I don't get it. She was terrible. Whoever wrote Lady Jessica, like, she's supposed to be strength, and she's crying the whole time. Like, dude, you're making women look bad. I don't feel this film made women look good at all. Like, I mean, the Reverend Mother was good. She should have had more to do. I liked the test when she gave Paul for, you know, pull your hand out of the box. Even though Kyle MacLachlan admitted that he understood the test, and in this one he was like all defiant, like, why am I getting tested? But you don't even know why. Like, unless you read the books and understand, you have no idea what the sisterhood is about. You know, there's some really beautiful, like, I think it should get a nomination for costumes for sure, art design. I think Hans Zimmer did a great job. I wish there was more of it. Like, the Caladan theme was so pretty, and it just fit the lighting, and it was awesome. And I feel like the first half of the film was like, they're building this world, they're taking their time, it's a slow burn, and then they get to Arrakis and they're like, oh shit, like, we ran out of budget, or we ran out of time, let's wrap this up. And it was like, it was all rushed, and there was like no moments of beauty thereafter. It was just really like, let's cram all this in, blah blah blah. And then, like, my friend and I were like, there's rotoscoping at this. They must have, like, I was like, this is like Tron with the shields and the eyes, the Fremen eyes. I was like, they did that by hand or something. And then sure enough, in the credits, it's like rotoscoped. And I was like, I called it. Like, so you know, they like took their time to make these visual choices and these artistic choices. I don't understand why the acting is so subpar, or it just doesn't match the world that was created. It just doesn't. So to summarize, and like, it was a Timothée Chalamet lookbook. Like, he was framed beautifully. He's beautiful on the big screen. He's so pretty to look at. But like, the things coming out of his mouth were just, I felt bad. The dialogue was so just not good. It wasn't good dialogue at all. I didn't feel the connection with the characters. And I understand some sci-fi films you're not supposed to, but even then don't have the banter. Like, you either have the characterization or you don't. but don't try to throw in like, oh, you got muscle, and then now I'm supposed to be all surreal and like poetic. Like it doesn't match. So all right, that's my review of Dune. I think I did it justice. I'm gonna probably do a written review as well. It was disappointing. It's okay to see on the big screen. It's pretty, but the second half is definitely not as strong as the first half, and I lose interest. And I feel like some choices were made that should have been different. They tried to put some Hollywood into this, and instead of just keeping it like David Lynch didn't give a shit about Hollywood or whatever. You can tell he never cares about the audience. He does his thing, and I feel like they were trying to make choices here to like appeal to a main audience, and in the end you just piss everybody off. Excuse me, because the main audience is not going to care about the Bene Gesserits, and the people like me that don't care about Momoa feeling Chalamet's bicep and making fun. And like, yeah, that was another thing. Like, he was belittled by his mom. He was belittled by the Bene Gesserit. He was belittled by Momoa. Like, poor guy. He's the prophet, and you guys were like pissing on him, and then all of a sudden he has the ring, and now you're kneeling for it. It's just, there was no character development or journey. Like, Paul Atreides all of a sudden had the ring, and now he's like some badass. Like, we didn't, and then he knows how to fly a plane. We didn't see that journey. Same with Rey in Star Wars. Like, Luke had a journey. All of Empire Strikes Back was him on Dagobah. Like, we need to have that journey to get from point A to point B, or you're not going to have the audience's empathy or sympathy or any kind of catharsis. That's just, don't cheat us out of the journey of becoming whole, or, you know, becoming a new person. That's the whole point, is character arc. So anyway, I am on my way to Mexico, and that's my review of Dune. And yeah, I still love the Lynch one. I think this one has merits. I have it on DVD because I think it's so pretty. And, you know, I really think Chalamet has the it factor. I don't think he should be doing Hollywood films. I think he needs to do more indie, you know, let's shoot for a summer in Tuscany kind of stuff. Because this Hollywood thing, I think he's a different caliber of acting. So, all right, more later. Okay, so I'm obviously home. I didn't do any filming in Mexico. Don't you just love end of the day makeup? You're like, oh, yay, it looked great 10 hours ago. That's why I don't wear makeup. But anyway, I was just having such a great time in Mexico that I did not film. This being said, I went to get what I had to get done at the pharmacy. They no longer have what I need. So I was wandering around. I said, I'm not going to wander around Tijuana, like just doing whatever. So I went to this taxi guy, and he was asking me if I needed a taxi. I was like, no. And then I came back, and I was like, for some reason, I was like, you know, I was asking him in my rudimentary Spanish where I could get what I needed, like if he knew what pharmacy I could go to, and he did. So I took a chance, and I was like, let's go. And then I got it done. It was easy. I feel so much better because I have what I need for my anxiety. And then we ended up going to a bar, having a cerveza, having fun, and now have new friends. So this is the part of like what I miss about living in Europe was just meeting new people, going on adventures, like doing things you never thought you were going to do. And the day turns out not how you planned, and it's so much fun. And I guess I just like really vibe with international people. I don't know what is it about Americans, but it's like there's this thing where like there's these pretenses, or people aren't like real right off the bat, or maybe it's just having the language barrier where you're, you know, there's really nothing to hide, so you're just like in the moment having fun. But I'm really looking forward to moving to Puerto Rico. The festival is going to be there next season. I'm really hoping it's 2023. I'm in the works now to like see when the best season is going to be. And I do have the next lineup of the feature films I'm going to have, and it's going to be really good. So I'm trying to like set the seed, or plant the seeds, and set the stage, I should say, set the stage, and get ready for the next season. So that's really going to be fun. There's going to be more reviews. The podcast is coming this last semester at film school. And so lots of stuff in the works. So thanks so much. And yeah, so this is the conclusion of the Dune review. I don't know why I put like going to Mexico and Dune together, but screw it. Like I don't vlog often. So when I do, I'll put it together. But so yeah, until, I don't know if like I'm going to be seeing any more films in the near future, but I'll be doing some more stuff. So I really need to get my website underway. But anyway, so that's it for this time. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on Dune and whatnot, but I really feel like what I had to say is spot on. So awesome. Go to Mexico, just live in the moment and have fun. So either watch an awesome film or live your life as if it is one. Oh God, that was so cheesy. All right. Anyway, the best way to end it is just to end it.